This is the Ag Engineering Podcast that rolls right into the details on tools, tips, and techniques that improve you, your farm, and our world. I'm your host, Andy Chamberlain from the University of Vermont Extension, and this podcast is sponsored by Northeast SARE. Thanks for listening. Today's episode comes to you from Southampton, New Hampshire, where I took a visit to one of the larger vegetable farms within the Northeast with Andre Cantelmo of Heron Pond Farm.
My name is Andre Cantelmo. We're here at Heron Pond Farm in Southampton, New Hampshire, where we grow 60 acres of mixed vegetables and gross between $1 million, $1.5 million a year. We have diversity in sales with wholesale, direct-to-consumer, roadside stand, farmers market, and CSA.
This is the last episode in a series that we've been doing with Andre, and this one is everything involving dirt. So what I mean by that is cultivation equipment primarily. We kick off the episode talking a little bit about a transplanter, so we get into that. Then we talk about cultivation tractors, flame weeding, and like a cultivation box of tricks, we call it. So stay tuned and hear what he has to say about dealing with weeds and planting directly into the soil.
So this little beauty, this was like, if someone told me how easy it would be, I would have done it 5 years ago. I got this from Brookdale Fruit Farm, Checchi Magli, 3-row carousel transplanter. This is the baby compact. We had to get the baby compact because we like to do 3-row on 15s. I also selfishly want it to be facing in the direction that we were traveling. I don't like transplanters that go the other way. You fly with this thing. When you transplant, everything is exactly set up for cultivation. And then when you look at this front roller, see how wide that is? It rolls this nice little area. And then, unlike the other watering systems that we've had that have been like mechanized that put a cam down, this waterer puts a whole water right in the trench, and it's a whole line of water. And so you're not just trying to shoot water right on top of the plant or anything, and it's under the plant in the root zone. The amount of adjustments are just amazing for, your depth of furrow, how far, depending on the size of the plant, you can kick back further to cover it quicker so that the plants don't fall over if they're small. It holds 40 trays when you're planting. And I splurged on the reduced gearing. And if you come over here, you can see that if I put in at the head there's a gear. If I put the 10 in there, and at the shaft part I'm running the 14, then the big gears are these down here, and I can plant. We can plant 4 inches apart. This is centimeters, so we can plant 4 inches apart with this 45. So we put our onions in. And if you're trying to beat some weeds or get out early with like beets and stuff, we've done beet transplants before, but we've always been like subject to putting them in as close as you could put them in with a water wheel, Right. But now you can put these sets in 4 inches apart. And the other thing is, this is set up exactly like our cultivators. So, on the water wheel, there's some wiggle room. People plant to one side of the hole or the other side of the hole, and that wheel that I showed you up front makes it so flat that when you're coming in with that first cultivation, your transplant is sitting there on perfectly flat, sealed ground. It's really sweet. I really enjoy this machine. What I need to build for it is a rig for the front of our tractor, the forks. We have those big 275-gallon drums that are in the cages, and I want to put a DC pump on that because when it's, drought conditions and you're really putting down the water, this little tank, you go through water quickly. And you can't put any more weight on the back of your tractor. Like, so a bigger tank isn't going to help you.
It's a big unit.
So putting the water out in front and pumping it in as you go is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And in contrast to this shiny new piece of steel, we've got an old Alice Chalmers sitting right next to it. Kind of rusty, but still works. So that's what we talk about next.
I have a bunch of fancy other European equipment and stuff that we're gonna see, but like, I still like these older things. You gotta have like a couple of horses.
You can't beat the classics, right?
Yeah, I mean, this sucker still does stuff when you need to get down and dirty and do some ripping. I mean, we're in a time where like shallow cultivation, zone cultivation. Let's sterilize the first 2 inches of soil in the profile and grow those crops great. And that's why these are out of favor. But like when I'm about to go out and like if we like this year, all these heavy rains, and then I need to hill my potatoes, the ground is all like rain compacted.
Yeah.
Take this sucker out, rip through it, then I go through with my hillers, you know? I mean, you know, it's got its place. There's a place for these old girls, for sure, you know? And they're cheap enough to have around. Like, what would anybody give me for it?
Right.
Like, why would I sell it?
Exactly, yeah. It's not worth getting rid of.
Yeah.
Even if you only use it a few times, it's...
Even though I've got a piece of European equipment coming down the hill to show you, but even though budding, by the way, budding is folding up. They're stopping.
I had heard that.
So if you need any tines, go get it. But this is, you know, we do the 5-row. We have a 5-row system. It could be a 3 or a 2-row system as well. And then, did you go to the tool stacking talk? I guess that's a couple years ago now.
I don't think so, no.
There's a couple of really good papers. The guys at University of Michigan have doing like documented research, and we're the people who are like, we're just doing it. Because, you know, so basically the idea is the more tools that you can put together, the more modes of action, it's an exponential increase in your effectiveness against weeds, not a linear increase, you know?
Yeah,
and so
it's not a 1 + 1 equals.
Yeah, so
2.
basically this is a Williams tool system. They sell it as a standalone product out of, Ralph is his name.
Oh, yeah, I've
Down in
visited him.
Pennsylvania. Market Farm Implement.
There you go.
Okay, so you can get one of these from Market Farm Implement. They sell right on that square shaft. They'll sell you all kinds of shakes and sweeps, and all kinds of other things that you might want to do. We put spring-loaded teeth just for the wheel tracks, and we use this system. I like the Williams because you can adjust the tension, and you can take certain rows completely out. So if I'm gonna go over like baby beans, baby beets or something, I don't want one of these tines ending up like right on a beet and just ripping it out.
So yeah, you can just pick up the one that you
pick
know
up
is gonna
the
be right
one.
in the row.
There's a million tine weeders. This one is pricey. But you can also find tine weeders that, especially tools like this, that people don't want.
Yeah.
And so once you find one that somebody doesn't want, it could be yours, like cheap, you know. There's Lely systems that do the whole rack. You can adjust the whole rack at once. I like this for the individuality. You know, I think that you could go a lot of different ways, but stacking is just definitely the way to go. Yeah.
And I assume the 245's got a pretty good float on the 3-point, so it just rides on the gauge wheels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, what is down with this. Yeah.
Right.
Rides on the gauge wheels. You can adjust. You have to have the center length adjust because you could end up pitching the machine.
Okay, yeah, just
You know,
make
because
it
we're
good
not
and level.
running with rear wheels, but it sits on the rear sweeps, so you can end up perching your sweeps up and not sweeping. But
Yeah.
you know.
And you can go pretty quick with this?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on like, you know, the crop. I mean, like if you're doing like just emerged carrots, you don't want to go that quick. But if you're doing beans that are this high, I mean, you could drive as fast as you feel like you don't want to fall over. You
Right.
know?
Because these seem a little bit beefier than some of the other
They are.
tine weeders I've seen. Like a lot of those seem really light and loose, and you can just fly. But this seems a little bit more like you want to be precise and not just let them go everywhere.
Yeah. You can also change the angle, which changes the tension.
Uh-huh.
But then you have to change your height, which is not that big of a deal. But
Right.
all that stuff you saw on the TerraTech Cultitrack,
Yeah.
we originally bought with this unit back in 2013. This Argus frame from Colt Crest, and then I added these brush weeders from TerraTech, and then kept it on this frame. And I think the next move is probably just to make it onto a toolbar that we like just move back and forth with the other machine. This is what I was talking about. You've seen a lot of people have the steerable frame. If you come down in here, these right here are hard, like real hard.
Uh-huh.
And then this, you can put your hand on it. This is like, you would almost brush your hair with this.
Yeah.
So, and then this is a medium. I think they're from street sweepers.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So in any case, you can order it in any combination you want. But we ride right up on the plastic with the white one, like right next to the plastic.
And it doesn't shred it.
And then you have this guard here for your crops.
Are you using biodegradable plastic? Or?
I am.
Yeah.
So you have the guard here for your crops, a little back thing because it'll go shooting out. We also, I don't have it on right now, but I see this arrangement of clamps. I have another set of arrangements of clamps that have a little disc. So if I'm bringing the soil out a little bit, I actually bring the soil back in. So just a couple sets of tines, sweeps, you know, right up next to the plastic. You got your depth of how heavy you want to go with this. And then you can just ride along and do each side of the, we do both sides of the plastic. And then, you know, this is the steerable unit, of course. And what I want to do is I want to change these tires out to agricultural bar tires. I think they would grab better. Most people are running steel wheels.
Mm-hmm.
I can't because of all the rocks here. But if I run bar tires, I bet you then I would get more bite. So that when you turned it, it would turn on its rack a little bit better.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because you know, the sway...
tires would make a difference on that.
This is on sway chains. You know, like your sway chains are loose. And then, so that when you steer, it can move within...
It's fully independent.
It's fully independent, yeah. And I mean, this has been a really valuable tool for plasticulture. The stone barrier changed your life.
I just talked to a farmer about that last week.
Yeah?
Yeah, they were loving it. Old Road Farm.
This will change your life. Yeah, this is a small one.
Yep.
But yeah, still highly, you know, like I can't say enough about it.
What is your favorite thing about it? Like,
my favorite thing is how flat the bed top is, and then the great thing about it is cedars go through it like butter because there's no rocks. I like that. But cultivating, you don't throw crap into your little, especially at the super cotyledon stage or like real micro stage. Like when the carrots first come up, you just go through them and not throw all kinds of material and stuff into there. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing about this. And I'm going to adapt other tillers and stuff for this. I didn't understand that this corrugation, when you go, like I said, we're doing stale seed bedding, right? Well, when you go with a tiller or something or a roller and the bed is flat, when the rain hits it and stuff in between, or let's say you have to even irrigate it to, we use those mega nets. You saw that bucket of mega nets? We have them all over the farm for little fine seeded stuff. And also, when we're stale seed bedding, in the last few years, except for this year, we've had to, it's been a drought, right? So we've had to like irrigate the beds that we were going to to stale seedbed to get the weeds to germinate. You do that on a flat, smooth surface, and that top layer turns to concrete. This corrugation really, really makes a huge difference with that. Immense difference. And even slightly a little bit with erosion. I'm not going to make huge claims about its like anti-erosion capabilities.
Right, but it gives it some texture to the surface as opposed to the flat roller.
Yeah, definitely. And so that is a really great thing. And because it's spring loaded, it's really making like a corduroy looking surface. And then the other thing is you go through with a seeder, instead of having flatness that you're going through textured, but it's micro textured. You definitely get better seed to soil contact. And so seed to soil contact and non-compaction and all those things really add up. The other thing is that I didn't know that I would love with this is either bed renovation or cover crop incorporation. So you're more inclined now, you know that seeder that we use? We could put cover crop seed in that and just go like, oh, you're done with a bed, just cover crop that one bed.
With the Sutton.
With the Sutton.
Yeah.
We want to use it? Cover crop's only this high? But you did something. It was not bare ground. Incorporate it with this. In the past, if I tried to do that, now I got junk. I can't ride a fine seeder through that. I can't run the transplanter through that. It's catching all the stuff and raking it, you know? With this, it incorporates that organic matter.
And buries it.
And then there's a rake in here. I don't know if you understand how they operate.
Yep.
But this rake, it hits the soil goes through and everything else falls. So everything that your seeder would have raked, it rakes and puts at the bottom of the furrow. So I would be interested to see a study on, like we don't like rototilling, we don't like doing this stuff, but like certain crops like greens, carrots, beets, they need a good seed bed or we're not getting what we want. And so, we've done a bunch, now that we have that Checchi, we used to have to rototill every friggin' bed that we were gonna transplant because you couldn't hand plant them into like a perfected bed. But now with the Perfecta, and now we're getting a 5-foot Perfecta just to make beds with. Mm-hmm. And so not having to till, that's another thing I should have said about that Checchi is like, minimal soil prep because it'll go through some stuff as long as it's flat, you know?
Yeah.
So I think he's bringing my other new favorite toy down here, which is the Farrago flail mower. Ah. And we have the hammer flail. It's not like a grass flail. So, I mean, you can... Oh, the Rockies? You like that?
Yeah, what... Is that a rock picker?
Oh, yeah. It's a rock picker with a built-in rock rake.
Oh.
So the rock rake brings it into your hamster wheel. Your hamster wheel takes the rocks, shakes them loose of the soil, and then when they come around, they slide down there and into your dump bin.
Nice.
Yep. And we pick a lot of rocks every year. So buying a stone burrier is not the solution to stone. You got to pick them up. So we pick them up, and then we use a stone burrier. Let's see what's in this bag of tricks over here. Because I was just like looking at this. I was like, there might be some cool stuff in here.
All right, now you'll have to use your imagination a little bit here as he's talking about cultivation tools. And so use your imagination and get a gist of it. But if you're interested, I did shoot a video while he was talking about this, so you can watch that on our YouTube channel or on the podcast page. So make sure you check it out there.
There are cool stuff in here. All right, let's see what we have. This will be cool. So these, I don't have a tool with me, but these are great because they go on here, on this shaft. They'll go down here, right? Right in back of the shaft. And they're little hillers, like for leeks or something. So I like these little hillers. This is for the one you're doing the center row, and then we have halves for hilling the just side. So this would be on the outside. This would be in the middle. And then you would hill. You could hill your leeks. You could hill brassica stuff like so. After you're getting in with your in row, the last time you've gone through, maybe with one of these fingers, the last time that you've gone through, you wanna make sure. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to get in there again. I'm gonna throw some soil on there. You could do that. This is that setup I was telling you about that I put on brush weeder.
Oh,
and then this little disc runs along the side and puts a little bit more soil right back to the side of the plastic. So you're kind of pulling the soil away a little bit and putting it back, keeping that nice and clean. So there's that. That's funsies. What else we have in here? This is like Christmas box here.
Toy box.
It's a toy. My son's toy box should be so lucky, right? These are offset side knives so that you can get closer to the crop without hitting the leaves. So when you're coming in to the soil right there, and you want to get this sweep, and you want to be right next to the plant, but then like broccoli and stuff has all these leaves in it. If you had a straight shank with maybe a side thing, this shank is hitting all the leaves.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe tearing them up. If you go offset like this, you can move the blade in closer and be away from the leaf and stuff like that. So that's another like little cool thing.
What's your go-to source for buying all these tools?
I just go right to Colt Crafts for these. Some people like Hack, decent brand. I like the way that the Colt stuff is put together a little bit better than Hack. For walk-behind stuff, like if I had a walk-behind tractor, I mean, like I see what Tillmore's doing, and I'm like, if I was starting out again, the first thing I would do would buy a Tillmore walk-behind. But as far as all their tractor stuff, these are true bearings. And the shaft design and grease fittings are different, and because of the high use that we use them for and all that stuff, like I prefer the Crest over the Tillmore for that, the Colt Crest stuff. But I have gone to farms that have invested in Checchi. You ever hear of them?
Yep.
That stuff is gorgeous. I know it is. It's really, really beautiful equipment. It's incredibly well made as well. I don't even know where you would buy it. There must be a dealer someplace. But if you ever get down to Wishing Stone Farm, he's got a Checchi bedder, a stale bedder. So you know how we were doing all this different stuff to stale bed? He's got something set up that literally just goes over the bed continually, not like a tine weeder and stuff. It is more sophisticated than that. It was designed by Checchi. There's a lot going on there. It's like 3 different modes of action. Incredibly shallow, really just minimal soil disturbance. But like if you go over and over it, it really clean. Like I don't even know if you need a flamer after that. Like it is a really, I mean, like of course, like everything, these things cost a fortune. But if it does the job and saves you that money in the weeds cost so much money. I know I envy that piece of equipment. That's a nice piece of equipment. You should get a couple pictures of that for your website.
Sure.
I don't even know what it's called. Checchi better? I don't know.
I'll look it up.
You should look it up. Yeah, Checchi equipment is definitely good, but the other thing is like Colt is in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And they manufacture some of the stuff there now, and they ship and you can get it. I mean, I know people dealing with me trying to get TerraTech stuff. I mean, like, I'm like, oh, well, we have to get a container, and then like by the time you get it, it's like 4 weeks on the ocean, and I mean, the good news is that TerraTech now is going to be moving a division to the United States.
Oh, really?
And so, yeah, we're hoping.
That's big news.
We're going to hope. I don't even know if I should announce that. Maybe you should keep that kind of to yourself.
I'll see if that's public.
I don't know. But in any case, the goal is over the next couple of years to move some of the manufacturing over here, move something, bring the cost of those tools down a bit, and availability.
Right.
Like, because when people order a tractor, they want it. They
Yeah.
don't want to wait 5 months for a tractor.
No, we're
wanna-
ready for it. Yeah, we decided we want it. Let's get it.
Okay, I have the money, I want to spend it. And so that's the goal there, you know. And I hope to be involved in that to a certain extent, but I am never leaving this place.
Right.
I'll always be here. I really have enjoyed, like, doing tool development with somebody.
Yeah.
Like, I came up with those ideas, and the next week the engineer sent me like a CAD video of my idea working on like a cartoon.
Yeah, R&D.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I love
was like,
R&D.
I was like, you're kidding me. Wow, that's great. You know, and I like working with them.
And if cultivation doesn't take care of the weeds, the flame weeder might. And here he explains how his is built.
So this is like one of the most used things on the farm. And so this design for the shroud, I got originally from Michael Kilpatrick. And he got it from Pete Johnson.
Okay.
And Pete Johnson got it off another guy. I thought that Pete actually invented it. My contribution to this, so if you ever want to build one, my contribution is this back here. This plate, every other one you see, the frame is twisted. And the frame is twisted because metal heats up and contracts in the pliable. So mine isn't attached. This is just a piece of plate steel, and it's just double nutted.
Sitting on.
So the hot pan, as you can see, there's hot spots where it's gotten warped and buckled. But it doesn't pull the frame because it's not attached to the frame.
Loose fit. Yep.
It's just sitting there. Now when you go down the road, it's like, you know. But hey, you know, it definitely does the job. This was, I thought this was going to be wicked important because of, you know, the height and stuff. I made, you know how long it took me to do these barrels?
Yeah, that's.
And
custom
it's like
welding there.
completely unnecessary. Like, if you don't need it. But it was, my idea was, I had such a hard time with crabgrass. So when that crabgrass just first germinates, you know, you could go over with a regular flame weeder and it comes back. But like this, like, you know, that's 6 million BTUs down, like hooded, you know?
Yeah.
So now, the other modification I need to make is I'm going to, up here, I'm going to put a squirrel cage fan that's going to run into a pipe. And the pipe is going to come down here with holes drilled in it. And the reason is because I have such a shroud, unless I'm in a slight breeze to the head, because you're a liquid feed, not a gas feed. So my propane to air gets,
You can't get enough air in
there's
there.
too much propane, not enough air. So believe it or not, even though I'm running heavy on fuel, I'm running colder. And if you go into a slightest head breeze, you could feel and hear it just crank up. And so that goes nuts. Yeah, it goes absolutely nutty. And this is, the original kit is from Flame Engineering. And then the rest is like custom weld jobs.
So did you build the whole thing?
I had a fabricator down the road do it. I just designed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't have time. It was my intention to build the whole thing.
It looks like it wouldn't be too expensive to put together.
It was expensive.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I got 4,000 in this,
Okay. Yeah.
which was more than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If I can ask you or direct you to do one thing, that is to go to the website for this podcast, agengpodcast.com. That's agengpodcast.com. There you'll find the show notes. You'll find links to the farmer who we chatted with today, as well as photos or videos from the call when I visited the farm. If you've got some feedback to share, my contact information's on there, or you can leave me a voicemail, and you can do that right from the link in the description in the mobile app you're listening to this to. So go ahead and do that. Thanks again for listening, and I hope you have a great day.